All right, so now we are looking at Chapter 5, Lesson 1, Guided Practice on page 348, integers and the coordinate plane, integers and graphing. So number 1, a 15-yard gain. And we are asked to write an integer for each situation, explain the meaning of 0 in each situation. So a 15-yard gain would be written as 15. Okay, and so 0 represents neither a gain nor a loss. 0 represents neither a gain nor a loss. All right, number 2 says loss of 2 hours. So if we're losing 2 hours, maybe because we're driving and there was a traffic jam, okay, or we were waiting for somebody. So that would be -2 because we lost 2 hours. And 0 would represent neither a gain nor a loss of time. 0 represents neither a gain nor a loss. The same answer as number 1. Neither a gain nor a loss. In this case, it's of time. And then numbers 3 and 4 ask us to graph each integer or set of integers on a number line. So -2, we have our number line and we want to go ahead and label it. We want to make sure that the -2 will fit on the number line. I'm just going to put 0. It doesn't have to be in the middle, but in this case, it'll actually fit fine if it is. So I am going to put the 0 in the middle, but I don't have to. Sometimes I might need to shift the 0 over here if I have a lower negative number. So 0, 1, and 2 to the right. -1 and -2 move to the left. And notice that number lines always have to have the arrows at the end because this represents that the number line goes on infinitely. So we'll go to the -2 and we plot a point at -2. Number 4 gave us 3 numbers and asked us to graph the 3 numbers on a number line. So I want to make sure that I label my number line so that all 3 of these numbers will fit. Okay, these are all very close to 0, so it's not a problem. But if these numbers were larger, considerably larger or smaller than 0, I may need to count by 2s or 5s or 10s in order to make them fit. But these will all easily fit. So we put the 0 here, 1, 2, -1, -2. So we have our number line. So now that we have our number line labeled, we can plot these 3 points. So -1 will get graphed here, +1 will be graphed here, and 0 will be graphed here. Okay, number 5, the data set 5, 0, -15, +20 shows the number of points Delaney scored on each hand of a card game. Graph the scores, explain the meaning of 0 in the situation. So I'm going to go ahead and count by 5s. I see I have to go to 20. I see I have to go to -15. So that gives me a range of 35. So from +20 to -15 is a range of 35. So if I counted by 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that wouldn't fit. If I counted by 2s, 9 times 2 is 18, that wouldn't fit. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 intervals. 9 times 5 is 40. Okay, so see the 9 tick marks or the 9 hash marks? 9 times 5 is 40. I look at my range, that's my lowest number to my highest number, that's 35. So then I decide I'm going to count by 5s. And 20 is the highest I need to go. So I'll put 20 here and then count backwards by 5s, 15, 10, 5, 0, -5, -10, -15, -20. So I did that really fast, and I want to talk you through that process again, how I decided what to count by and where to start, and the reason I counted backwards. Okay. So I looked at my set of numbers. My largest number was 20. My smallest number was -15. The range from +20, so here's 20. This is a skewed number line. Here's 0. This would be -15. The range is 35. Okay. The range is 35. From +20 to -15 is a range of 35. That's the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest numbers. Okay, so that means I need to be able to plot 35 points on my graph. So then I looked at my intervals. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know 9 times 5 would be 40, and that would be enough for me to fit my 35 in. Okay, so there were 9 intervals, 9 tick marks. Some people call them hash marks, tick marks. There are some other names down south they use for them. Okay, but 35 was my range. I know there are 9. Okay, 9 times 5 gives me 40. That fits in fine with a little cushion on one end. Okay, so then I knew my highest number was 20. And then I counted, so I made that my highest point, and then I counted backwards by 5s. Okay, and when we graph and when we create a number line, we need to have equal intervals. That means we need to have equal spacing. Okay, so 20, 15, 10, 5, 0, -5, -10, -15, 20. Now I can plot these points. +5, 0, -15, and +20. And then we are asked to explain the meaning of 0 in this situation. So this is the number of points scored in a card game. So 0 represents a score of 0. So the integer 0 represents 0 points, or a score of 0. So the integer 0, in this case, it's a card game that represents a score of 0. And then just our essential question for this lesson: how can you use integers to represent data? Integers can be used to represent a gain or a loss, temperatures above or below 0, or elevations above and below sea level. Those are just some examples. So integers can be used to represent a gain or loss, temperature above or below 0, or elevations above and below sea level. Okay, and those are just some examples. They can be used for many, many more things, especially graphing. All right, so that was just guided practice, page 348, lesson 5.1.